Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to give you guys another update on my new grad residency experience. So, since the last time we talked, I told you guys that I was kind of going through a lot of different emotions. It was my 6-month anniversary, I guess you could call it, of being a new grad nurse. So as far as the residency is supposed to have a class with us every month, but since the pandemic was going on and they needed to train some travel nurses and hire some new nurses because we were so understaffed. If you recall, they were calling us every day to see if we would be willing to come in and pick up an extra shift and pay us pandemic pay. They also had the Department of Defense come in and help as well, nurses from the DoD. So we were severely understaffed. And so we weren't able to have a residency class like we were supposed to every month. Until we just recently had one last week. But I said that to say that we really didn't have the support that we needed as far as the residency training was supposed to, that we were supposed to have. And I'm not sure if that would really make a difference. I think the hands-on experience is what I really like to have, because to me the residency is just, it's nice because you get to meet up with the other new grads and see that their experiences are not that different from you. Their feelings and everything that they've gone through is exactly the same, and there's camaraderie in it. So it's that feeling that it feels good not to be alone. But back to what I was saying about the whole 6 months. So last month, I put myself on a list for low census, meaning that if they didn't have a big patient load, you could be request to be on this list to have time off, and they would call you and tell you don't need to come in. So I put myself on that list for the whole of February, and I got a lot of low census, as well as I ended up calling in sometimes. So my manager noticed, and he actually emailed me and told me that the next time I work, I need to come and speak with him because of the excessive absences. I have been absent since November. I've probably put in a request to take time off twice a month. And honestly, I don't know the attendance policy. I'm pretty sure they showed us, but I didn't read it. But I'm also pretty sure that I didn't get it because their onboarding really sucked. Like, I had no idea how to request time off. I had no idea how to schedule myself, no idea how to schedule a vacation, nothing. So they really, as far as signing in, I was confused about the buttons to push when you're going to meals. When you're going out to lunch. So we have a meal in and a meal out button. So I'm not sure. There's just confusion surrounding that. They didn't show us how to like, if you're being transferred to another floor, there's a whole process to clock in with that, and they didn't show us any of that. So part of me feels like maybe I was shown the attendance policy, but another part of me highly doubts that I was. But anyway, I talked to him about that, and really, I have no excuse for being absent. It's just feeling overwhelmed and dealing with confidence issues, and just feeling like maybe I chose the wrong career. And that's pretty sad. And just feeling like doubling up on the sadness because of that. Just feeling like, did I really choose the wrong career? Did I really waste all this time to get here and then not really want to be here? Because let me tell you, if you are a student, in my opinion, nursing school does not prepare you for crap. You take a lot of blood sugars, you do a lot of CNA type of work, but to actually follow a nurse and to know what the orders are, know what is required of you during your shift, a 12-hour shift, because we didn't follow a nurse for 12 hours. It's totally different when you're on your own and you're 100% responsible for someone. You have nobody to bounce stuff off of. You do, because I'm a new grad, but at times I feel like I'm being irritating to my charge nurse or my fellow nurses. One of the times that I called in is because that night I felt so overwhelmed. Like I literally felt like I couldn't do this shift. Every patient wanted something at all hours of the night. I literally probably sat down 45 minutes, and I don't know how I got to chart on everyone, but I did. And I would call nurses for help, or I would call the charge nurse. They wouldn't answer, or they give me like blunt answers, or they cut you off on their vocera. It's just it at times it feels like I am alone. And I'm not going to go to the manager and complain, because as a new grad you feel like that could be held against you. So I learned how to manage it myself. I learned how to react to it. And by the grace of God, I made it through that night with all my patients alive and in good condition as best as they can be. But I definitely learned who I can go to that night, who I can ask of help from. That's for damn sure. And I learned how to do some things on my own and how to be more resourceful on my own. If anything, I can say that a lot of the times CNAs have been the ones that have helped me and have educated me on some things. More than, well, I can't say more, but have had a better attitude than my other nursing peers, which is bad to say. I've not had any problems with any of the CNAs helping me. But basically, it's been a journey trying to adjust to nursing the people I work around, whether it be nurses or doctors, and the patient load. The other night I started to question how they assign their patient load, because I noticed that newer nurses, or not newer in the sense of being a new grad, but newer to the facility, or travel nurses will get harder patient loads. And then I'll see like a few nurses that have been there longer, like 3 years or so, sitting in the nurse's station just chopping it up or on their phone, like earlier than the rest of us. So like around 10 o'clock or more often than the rest of us. They'll be in there just chopping it up. Like clearly your patient load isn't that hard. And then I'll begin to see this on a regular basis, who's in the nurse's station just chopping it up and on their phones. And you start to realize that you have a harder patient load for whatever reason. And as a new grad, once again, my questioning is there a reason for that? Is it because I'm new and I need the experience, or is it because that's the homie and you want to like not give them a hard patient load? You know what I mean? So I'm trying not to think negative. I'm trying to take it one day at a time and learn everything that I can from it for my future. So that's what I have been going through recently. I did have that talk with my manager, which went smoothly. He kind of inquired about why, and of course I didn't tell him my feelings, but I let him know that there's some background things going on with me personally, and left it at that. And I just told him, but anything I could possibly say is an excuse, and I do plan on doing better, which he said, okay. I guess he's supposed to, if there's an employee who needs some improvement in their work or something like that, he put you on like a 30-day plan or something like that, or probationary, but he didn't do that with me. He said he wasn't going to do that with me, and because he realizes that the job is a little bit harder for us, stemming all the way back for, the pandemic and how much we've been slammed and how much has been requested of us, and the types of patient loads that we have been getting. But for me, I don't know if that has an effect or something to do with it, or just, I don't know, really. I just don't know. I do know that when I go to work and at the end of the day or the morning when I'm about to give a report and I'm about to come home, I feel like Like I really earned my day's money. You know what I mean? Like I did something in comparison to where I came from, where I was working in an office and I would just go home. I really didn't feel like I did anything, even though I did, but it wasn't as strenuous as being a nurse is. It isn't as mentally taxing or physically taxing or emotionally taxing. Like, it isn't as taxing as being a nurse is. On the other hand, I don't know if I mentioned this in the other video, I was on low census one day, but instead, I guess I was on the bottom of the list. And so when you're on the bottom of the list, they don't put you on total low census, calling you out for the whole day. They just say, oh, you're on call. And I'm like, oh, great. I don't want to be on call. I don't want to have to drive from my house. You know, they have until from 7 at night to 5 o'clock in the morning to call you for, I mean, if they get slammed with new admits or new patients or whatever. And so I just didn't feel like coming in the middle of the night or whatnot, driving there and working when, you know, my body has pretty much been like, oh, okay, let's go into rest mode and relax. But they ended up calling me at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I had to make that drive out there. They gave me like what seemed like 5 of their worst patients, and I took a report on all of them, did my thing. I was amazed at myself. I mean, you would think that, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go in there for these few little hours and that's it. But no, nurses didn't take their last sets of vitals, I guess, because they were just waiting on me when, you know, vitals were supposed to be taken 2 hours ago. But, you know, they're just, you know, handing stuff off to me to do. And just skipping their meds or whatnot. It was just, it's irritating. But I made it through. I had a patient that night who wasn't coping well with his diagnosis, and was just explaining to me that he had a family. He's been in the hospital for 3 weeks, just emotionally taxing on him. And his condition he hid from his wife because he just didn't want her to worry. And this was a grown man that started to break down. And I have a soft spot for grown men that start to break down because you know they're reaching their breaking point, you know. And as a nurse, there's like literally times where you feel like you really can't do much for this person, because you don't have the power to, except for their comfort, their safety, any meds that are due right then. But all you can do is listen, and that's what I did. But at the end of it, I offered to pray for him, and he said, yes, please, and I prayed for him, and he really appreciated that. In all honesty, I could probably say I have prayed for 4 patients since I've been there. Like, I felt like they're in such despair, and I feel like there's nothing more I could do except for pray for you. But, you know, I don't say it that way. But it's like there's things, I'm only human, that seems like you need God on this, and you need it now, and I will pray for you if you'd let me, and they accept it. A lot of times I'm shocked that they accept it. I don't know why I'm shocked. It's just the culture of today, I guess. But I guess I shouldn't be shocked because people are sick. And hate to say it, but it seems like some people are more accepting towards God when they're sick. And so they let me pray for them. And it is a religious hospital, so I guess I shouldn't be so surprised. But I am. And it feels good to pray for them. I feel like I've helped in some way, even though it ain't me who I'm calling on, but it just seems like a situation for God. But yeah, I've also gotten in trouble with the administrator, the one who hired me. I was, that same night when I was on call, I was giving a report off to a travel nurse, and didn't even think of it. She wanted to just, oh, you want to just give a report here? You know, we were standing outside of the window of a patient, and I was giving her report. Lo and behold, the administrator walks up, going on her way to her office, which is also on the same floor, which I forgot because I was on call, sent to another floor that wasn't my usual floor. and her office was there. And so I'm just going and giving a report, and then she was, Delilah, when you're done, please come to my office so that we can talk. And I'm like, okay. And she talks just like that, like she belongs in that James Bond movie. So nice. Um, but and I'm like racking my head, like, what the heck does she want to talk about? At the time, I didn't really think anything of it because I'm in the swing of things, and I'm just like thinking in my head, oh my god, I made it through the night. Got everything done. So I'm done with report for her, and then I go to her office, and she's like, first of all, she starts off with, so how did your night go? And I'm like, well, I was on call, and it was overwhelming at first, but I made it through. And she's like, so what can we do about that? And I'm like, do about what? Like, yeah, it was overwhelming. I was like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, it was overwhelming at first, but I made it through. Like, there's nothing to be done. Like, I made it through. I survived. She's like, oh, okay, good. So tell me about handoff report. And why should we do it in the patient's room? I'm like, oh, great. And then I like shot off reasons. Oh, so they can be included in it in case you forget something, yada yada. And then she's like, yes, exactly. So the next time I don't want to see you outside of the room giving a report, okay? I'm like, yes, got it. And then she starts to joke with me and things lighten up, and yeah, so I got, chastised for that. And the funny thing is, when I walked out away from that, or when I walked out of the office, she's getting report from another nurse that was on shift with me outside of the room. So it's like it's not just me. I just happen to be the one that get caught. And so yeah, lots of nurses do it outside the room, especially if we walk in and we see that the patient is asleep. We'll do it outside the room. But had she walked by at any time, seeing any of us giving report, she would say something. So yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, I received my diploma from Capella, and which I'm happy about, but it just didn't really. I felt I expected it to feel a little bit more exciting, but it didn't. It just felt like a piece of paper. Like, okay, thank you, got it. But I'm very grateful that I completed the program. I don't know what I was expecting. It's my first bachelor's, and I'm just like, I expected it to be this grand, amazing feeling, and it just feels like, yes, I got it. Like, I wasn't jumping for joy. I guess I need that graduation ceremony because this is just a totally different feel from like having that whole ceremony and feeling like you, I don't know, really accomplished something. When you just get the diploma and it's like, here, congratulations. I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, got that done. And so yeah, here I am. This month, or we just finished our residency program after not having one since November. Last Thursday, I went. It was just good to have that camaraderie, to hear everybody talk. And yeah, it was a great feeling just to be there with everyone again and to see everyone from my nursing program. There's only 5 of us who got hired, I think, 5, 6, and to hear how they've been doing. The majority of them I see on my floor, either day shift and they give me reports sometimes, or on night shift because I work with a few of them on night shift. But a few I don't work with because they're on a different floor. And I haven't seen them in such a long time. And I started to question if they even work there, but they do. Aside from that, I haven't worked since last Thursday. I will return to work tomorrow and Wednesday, but I put myself on low census on a few of these days. And I'm going to try my best not to call off anytime this month. My vacation is shot. My sick leave is shot. Like, I need to build those babies back up. Something else that I did, but I'm uncertain if I will follow through with, I started to apply for other jobs because I wanted to see what they would be like. So I applied for a local mental health hospital. I did have a clinical rotation in nursing school in mental health, and I didn't find it to be so scary, even though even though like there's a big possibility you could get harmed physically, and you need to learn self-defense techniques or whatnot. But there's one here that's near my house, and I applied, and I have an interview this Thursday at 11. So after I get off of shift on Wednesday, if I'm not called off for loan census, which I probably won't be because I'm number 3 on the list, I will need to stay up until 11 a.m. to go to that interview. And they tell you how much they pay, which is far lower than what I get at the hospital, but plenty of opportunity to work overtime because they're short staffed, I'm guessing. But they have full-time opportunities, part-time opportunities, and per diem. And I'm kind of thinking about the per diem. It says that you can work 6 days a month. You need to work 6 days a month, 2 weekdays a month, and I believe 2 hospital holidays. So that sounds like a good gig to me, but I just question my ability to work 2 jobs right now. Like at the time I thought it was a good idea, and they put me in to schedule me for an interview, but it's like I will need to be somehow find the time to go to training for a week and a half, so that I can start that next job. It would be great to have second income, even though it is lower than the hospital. It's still extra, and it's still nurses pay. But yeah, I'm kind of iffy on that. We'll see if I actually attend that. And it's an 8-hour schedule, so that is appealing as well. But at this time, how I feel about nursing, I feel like I don't know. I took this because I wanted more time with my family. I think I enjoy also helping people, but I don't know. My end game here is to like generate wealth for my family. Nursing doesn't necessarily get you to be wealthy. I mean, it's a good paying job, especially in California, and especially knowing that I own my own house and I don't rent. But my end game out of all of this, and this could be a vehicle to get there, is to generate wealth for my family to the point where I can replace this income. So lately I've been looking at real estate investing, so I hope to educate myself on that, really. I've been watching Court the Nurse Realtor, and I heard that she's going to go that route. So I'm very interested in seeing what she does and just learning from her. To see a nurse on YouTube that's also doing realty or real estate investing, I'll learn a lot from her. But aside from that, yeah, still on track to getting my year's experience, having little hangups, missing some work here and there, 2 days a month of my own time. And I gotta look up that policy to see what they consider to be, non-compliant with my attendance, so that I'm informed. And at this point, I feel like I am a task-oriented nurse, and I wonder if I should be farther along. I feel like everything I learned in nursing school has disappeared, and a lot of the things that I hear when other people are educating me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I totally forgot it. And that worries me a lot. Still haven't had my first rapid response or code blue, and I'm just like, what the hell do I do when this happens? Like, they simulated, but it's like it's different when it actually happens. Like, I know how to do my CPR. I know how to call for the code blue, but it's just, I feel like once it happens, then I'll have less anxiety about it all. As far as the anxiety, it has lessened a little bit. And I will share on another video, which I will create after this video, some of the methods that I use to lessen the anxiety before work, and also how to like get to sleep when you work the night shift. Some things that I do. So I'll share that with you guys as well. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling in this almost 7-month update. It is March 1st, so March 17th will be my 7th month. And I am just looking forward to getting this first year down, to feel like I'm actually making it. Next steps are unclear. Like, I really want to do nurse practitioner. I don't know if I really want to do nurse practitioner, really. It all seems like it's all stressful, and I'm just tired of being stressed. Like, I just want to live life. Don't we all? But yeah, that's the update. So anyway, I hope you all have been doing well. This is a long ass video, and I'm sorry for that, but I just have a lot to get out and wanted to cover it all. But thank you guys for watching. If you're on your journey, keep going. If you're about to end your journey and become a nurse, welcome to the profession. You will get through it, and I'm pretty sure I will get through it as well. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.